here to do the Divine Masculine update. Sorry, a bit delayed. I just want to say for chakra energy. Divine Masculines, let's have a look. Should we do the good, the bad, and the ugly for Divine Masculines, what they're moving away from? Oh, God, what will it be? That my heart just dropped when I did that. Because we did that for the Divine Feminines, relating to the past and what we're moving away from. And I think we may check it. We'll check the chakra. We'll check the energy for Volume 2, Week 2 of June. We do weeklies. Oh, God. Maybe I'll do a chakra. Okay, we'll check those. And we'll see what is going on for the Divine Masculine relating to the past moving forward. And then straight after this, I'm not having a break. We're going straight into the karmic because I've got to do blogging. And you guys are going to fall asleep. So next week sometime I'll be live again and we'll do the next edition for the Twin Flame update for the main platform. That's happening in the Members Hub. Okay. What is the good, the bad, and the ugly in the revelations that Divine Masculine had in relation to the past? What are the lessons and the blessings? Show us the good, please. What is the good? What is the lesson they learnt? I'm back again. We're going to go straight into the karmic after this. The perks of being an insomniac. Yeah, no joke. This is one thing that you guys are going to enjoy in the Members Hub is because I'm going to be live in here all the time now. Okay, so the bad is Divine Masculine feels they've had a few towers. Okay, a lot of towers. The towers can be exhaustion. It could be, gosh, this isn't working. It's revelations to do with the past, the emotions that are kind of washing over them. Feels a lot. And all the twin flame lives that I used to do, they're coming into the members, okay? So you guys used to get 3 sessions. We're turning it into the Twin Flame Education Hub. This is what this is going to be, an education content. So the top level is education, and the 3rd level is going to be the live. So now you're just going to get weekly updates from that. You're going to be able to be part of the sessions for those of you in the 3rd level, and then I'll do the super chats after and energy updates on the main platform. And, okay, the bad. They're living deceptive people in the past. Woo! Well done. Okay, week 2 is that. Does make sense. Full moon in Sagittarius. I don't believe in you anymore. I believe in me. Ugly. What is the ugly truth? What is the ugly truth of a circumstance? Oh, God, a relationship in the past was ugly. Maybe a family-related dynamic. Maybe a home-related dynamic. We've got family as the crowning energy. Let's have a look at the chakras relating to each area. And then we'll look at the current energy of where they're at and where they're going. Once we know what to be prepared for. So what was the good was they thought they knew everything. And they just had, and I think we all, you know, the good is they've cast a critical eye on a circumstance. They've looked at it with more detail and understanding. They're intentionally making logical choices. That's probably why we're getting the headaches. Even though the Mercury is more relating to feminines, I think from an ascension point of view, we're actually picking up on their headaches. Told you, Mercury. They're like, look, casting a critical eye on reality checks, revelations happening at the beginning of the month, moving into next month, moving into the 2nd week. They're sort of like eye-opening moments. The good thing is they're seeing it, okay? The bad, not to be trusted. Okay, what's not to be trusted? The bad is, maybe even in their shadow, is, you know, if there's been privacy, if there's been emotions where they've been feeling they don't trust a circumstance, their intuition is saying something. It also can be the attitude that they've had within the connection with the twin flame, that they've understood the reasons why maybe you're like that and maybe you're pushing back a bit more. So what is this not to be trusted circumstance in relating to, please? Yeah, communication styles. The lack of communication means that maybe you're not having faith in it, but also it's something that was hidden from them. So some information's come in, and it's like now they're trusting their intuition. It's their day-to-day routine as well. It's almost like something that's not working. They have to let it go. And that can be in the area of Taurus, and it can be also in the area of Gemini, because that's where really Mercury was. Yes, we're having Venus in those areas as well, which is really good because it means they're more heart-centered connections. We're going to be more grounded with our approach with those things. I've been going all day. Yesterday was worse. I was there till I think, oh God, 5 o'clock at night. Yarn kept me company. She was like, hi. Okay. And then between the rest of the afternoon, I'm going to be blogging for the Twin Flame subscription on the website, and tomorrow as well. And then I'm back on track and we can get back to business. Spot the builder. Sorry, guys. I'm selling things on Gumtree and people keep messaging me. It's like, leave me alone, I'm busy. Gave your Mercury retrograde, you weren't interested. Now it's all coming in now. See, information's coming in now. Okay, so ugly. Okay, what is the ugly truth? There is an ugly truth to do with a home or a family-related situation. They're coming to terms with it. It can sometimes be our conditioning. We've got family. Definitely the full moon in Sagittarius will bring up family and sibling crap. It's coming to a head. It's also to do with Jupiter, religion, values, could be funerals, weddings, divorces, litigation. Physical health, it's impacted them. So a connection has impacted their physical health. Burdens relating to family and emotions, release. It's a 5, vitality. You know, where's the foundation at? How is it impacting you? Previous connections, like their beliefs to do with relationships and what they meant. It's so much more than just an intimate connection. There's the spiritual, there's the physical. And it's funny that I'm being guided to, and it has been coming up quite a bit lately in my channelings, the person's personal rights, and they can be the right to giggle. You've said it before 100 times. It's like the wellness energy, right? The right to privacy, the right to safety, integrity, shelter, food, water. If those have been hindered and it's been a one-sided transaction, this is the rebellion. It's almost like they're rebellious inside and they're going, that's not acceptable for me. I deserve to have integrity. I deserve to have, sleep and emotions and health and wellness. And, putting eggs into these baskets where they're being taken from them, it might have been that, they were born into circumstances where one parent was maybe stronger than the other. And then going into relationships, their perspective was, well, maybe if I go to extremities in this area, I won't have to relive my childhood. So something in the family-related dynamic is being revisited to be healed. Yeah. Let's see. What's coming through for week 2 of June for the divine masculine? Now, feminines, you can use this also for your career sector. And where you're putting energy, your energy levels, but within the connection and within their life, this is their energy. And then we do the joint connection weekly in the 3rd level. Okay, something has impacted their love life relating to you. Their beliefs to do with connections have been reshaped after, right? Family have impacted it. Family-related dynamic, a feeling of safety, a physical environment, a previous connection, a current connection. There's a revelation to do with this. Some are moving. Can't wait to get into the karmic. Wonder what we'll see. Going to try and power through this. Ooh, okay. So some, if they have a mother in the 5D, can we call it 5D? Transcend it over. They could be actually getting guidance. I also feel they're choosing that they're thinking about you. Look at the Empress here as the outcome. Thank Lord. Good morning, Vietnam. What a battle, the hero's journey. So we have a partnership in the mix there. There might be a third-party situation. Lord have mercy in the stream. What on earth is that about? You two, come on. So we've got a situation in the mix where there potentially is they've reviewed this. Now, if you've had ins and outs with this person, they have looked at it and they're looking at it differently now. There could be a choice between two paths. They also feel that the way they have been relating to you has been sending you mixed signals. Especially with mood. I think with all of us, we can admit with our mood, it's been up and down. So we could be a little bit snappy and then the person's taking offense. So they're in awareness for those of you in communication that has been so. So they are thinking about reconciling with you, but there is things from the past cropping up that are sort of needing to be tied up and compartmentalized in order for that to happen. I knew this would come up. Now, in order to be happy with the person and in love, do we need to be miserable? No. Do we need to be to the point where we are vulnerable? Yes. But I do feel there's something at the moment of a reason they were dealing with a karmic cycle, and a karmic cycle doesn't have to be a romantic partner. So it's interesting that on this occasion, I'm looking at masculine, feminine, karmic to see each polarity. Then each week we go into the yin yang, which we'll look at feminine, masculine, the karmic, and all of it. We're going to look at all of it where it stands. So we're going to get the whole 360 in the members hub. So this week, looking at the masculines, where they stand, they are they're looking at their finances, they're looking at their stability. They also feel they have not been giving time to themselves. They haven't been honouring the feelings that they have. And they feel that they're almost keeping something afloat and maybe feeling sympathetic towards an area of life due to conditioning. Now, the conditioning doesn't mean they do that forever. It can be, well, hey, I'm not feeding my cup. The plane's going down and I haven't put a mask on and I've been helping everyone, but where have I been helping myself? Where have I been filling my cup, filling my needs? Now, that can be anything down to, and I don't know why I see this coming through, but, sometimes we end up in connections or a contract or dealing with a family-related dynamic that it just keeps pulling us back, right? It does make sense that Saturn going retrograde gives this group individuals a different viewpoint from the mountain to have an epiphany. The different viewpoint can be, gee, if this is unmanageable permanently, something is coming to an end, but at the same time, they're really looking at life very logically as well as spiritually. So they're using both. They're using both the masculine and the feminine inside of their lives to decide between what is going to be the best course of action. Number one, I can say is they are feeling run down, and if they are doing things that does service others but doesn't service themselves, they're frustrated with that and they feel they're battling to make something fit that doesn't. It's the Cinderella effect. So this is, yeah, there you go. This is fatigue, okay? It's not making sense. It's not working. I've got to rest. I need to step back from that. I need to take a logical approach. Maybe something is out of my control and I need to accept that and make peace with it. And it can be transcending over. For some, it can be looking at it from a rational perspective, maybe having a mini break and then realizing by having that break, it's giving them clarity that it's just not working. Now, this is where they're perplexed. They're like, okay. Sometimes it can be the avoidance of the end, even though you know it's already over. Emotions that come up. Knowing that this direction, at a point, if this was a person inside of a connection and they thought they could make it better and there was guilt if the person was unwell or the person was codependent, I kind of think they've reached an epiphany that A, something is coming to an end, and B, that something is not fixable. I don't think this is in context to you, feminines, because I do see that we do have the Ten of Cups here in the read and we do have the Empress coming through, which to me, these two cards indicate a relationship and the Divine Feminine. I do feel there is an emotion relating to it, and at a point they kind of feel it was somewhere where they were really comfortable in being. That can be with a person, place, or thing, a belief system, but something's changed in that. And I did hear the term returning home to move forward. Now, returning home can be to the inner child. It can be to a direct home environment. It can be experiencing a circumstance that resembles home. So, you know, it kind of plays out a little bit like assimilation. And if that came through and started, I would say, and the times they're showing me is from 2020 to now. That's one pocket of them. To during last year to now. That's another. And most recently during Venus retrograde. Now, connections and karmic relationships do not last. Any relationship generally formed during a Venus retrograde. And if they go into that karmic contract during that time, I've got to remember what house it was in. Point blank zero, it doesn't work. Okay. There's been a lot of astrologers that have done research on this, and they ended up looking at the data. You know, marriages went through, they would look at their charts, and then as it went direct, the differences showed. Because in Venus retrograde, funny enough, we've done the good, the bad, and the ugly here. That's what you get. It's a little bit like Kodiakly. You get the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then you change your mind. So the rose-colored glasses come off, and you realize you've got nothing in bloody common because you've gone into a karmic kind of, you know, rose-colored glasses analogy. Hi, Jan. So this individual during this moon phase, which remember, this is for week 2, I feel they're looking at connections and I feel they're having an epiphany towards it. Yes, beautifully at a point, maybe they chose a path and maybe were born into a family and had a set viewpoint in their tribe that served a purpose at the time. But it's a little bit like being inside of a connection and then realizing, oh, but we had great history, and you can't forgive yourself for it. But deep down, you know, there's the only thing that you're holding on to that was really beautiful is potentially the memory over the physical reality of where you are. So it is where we suddenly reach an acceptance point of what something was. You know, we can get to this point that we feel we're trying to make everyone happy, and it's really, really deeply impossible to make everyone happy. And even if they're not happy, it doesn't mean that we're not loved. It doesn't mean that we're not accepted. And I do get that divine masculine is actually seeing the fallacy in a situation now, trying to appease everyone. At a level, on a foundation, in the past, if they felt that a financial situation was going to be impacted due to a situation going on in their life, and that's why they couldn't move forward, I kind of feel that they're looking at that going, well, that's going to be so whether I am here or aren't. So if I'm holding on due to finances, you know, I can repair my finances if I leave, and it is going to be what it's going to be. But even if I am holding on for finances, gee, is that the only reason I'm here? And that seems kind of futile. Let's pull a clarifier here. Hi, Jan. I was just saying you kept me company all yesterday. You're a beautiful company. Thanks. I'll have to give you guys the date and the members hub. Yes, that's sort of been like a surprise. I do feel for some they can have some surprise money coming in. Yes, unfortunately, it can come through in a unique way. I think between now and July, that's changing, right? Okay, something's gone to an extreme. It's going to get messy. Oh, God. You know what I can hear? Why are you so obsessed with me? Okay, first thing I said when I entered the room for Divine Masculine is it felt addictive, intoxicating. Yeah, they can be having some intoxication, but I think overall they're just point blank tired. There could be a situation between a man and a woman, husband and a wife, family, children, that is a bit problematic. Okay, there's a few messages coming here, so bear with me. One is there is an issue that when they're looking back, if this person's not with the karmic anymore, they are looking back at previous connections and a thing that they believed relating to love. Now, they might have been really nice inside this connection and ended up being a doormat. The other is the way they look at relationships these days is different. And if this person was always really, really adamant they were never going to get married, never going to be in a connection, I think they're revisiting it and they're realizing a connection isn't a prison. A connection is something where both parties are planted in a pot and that, you know, they're able to grow, they're able to be nurtured, watered, fed, and, you know, not becoming a rose bush and strangling each other, basically. Do you get what I'm saying? So they're kind of having this epiphany. Is there an obsessive energy where they're thinking about you a lot? Yeah, but they're giving this poker face. It's like, I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm okay. But I feel they're obsessively thinking about you at the moment. Okay, something could go to extremes here. They're overcoming temptation in the family to lose their cool. Yeah, because there's healing that hasn't been done. They're trying. They're trying to be good. He believes in it, but said I wasn't the one he wanted. Yeah, but what they say and what they mean is two different things. And you know that because he keeps communicating with you, so it's crap. Okay, love is not possession. That's what they've learned. Okay, wow. Okay. For some, yes, they're dealing with a legacy situation. Okay, this can be a person passing, feeling that they were unloved, feeling their inner child. Look, it doesn't need to be something most recent. It could be like wanting to go visit family, feeling kind of left out in the cold. Family can be mother, father. It doesn't have to be a DNA mother and father. It could also be happening in a friendship group. But there's something here in the mix. Be it a karmic relationship or it's physical family related dynamic. And for some, it's true that they feel isolated, misunderstood. But it's making them do shadow work, and it's making them feel, okay, if I can't make everyone happy, I need to, you know, what is going to make me happy? What is going to make me a whole person so I can give the best version to myself, but also to a person I choose to be with? But there's healing that they also feel, you know, the funny thing is the acceptance. It might have been that they were a moderator inside a connection or a family. And now they're realizing, well, it still hasn't changed. And so the closure is coming through in a very unique way. But, you know, their mind has been really kind of overridden by this for a while. But they are coming through as the king. And you are coming through as the empress. Now, was there anything wrong with receiving a king? No. Okay? Don't expect them to turn up as an emperor. Nobody turns up as an emperor. Nobody turns up as an empress. It's a process. This is called healing. And it's like two parties coming together. Can you be initially more ascended during union? Yes. Could they be at times and jump ahead of you? 100%. That's one thing I experienced. But I feel the intention here is coming as we are, but with the integrity, so that we can actually navigate this future forward. Can there still be misunderstandings? Yes. But I feel this person's learnt quite a bit, and it's due to that. They kind of feel once they come to terms with these things over here, they're actually able to address you at a respectful rate. Does that make sense? They're like, I'll be able to give to you. I might be a bit scared. I'll lower my guard, though. I'll be out of my ego. I'll be out of my ego. But they feel that their mind's been quite clouded. So this clarity that's coming to them is actually serving them well. Yeah, there you go. Clarity over the last 6 months has served them well. And technically it's been 2.5 years, really. So I've been from an astrologer point of view so excited about this point. Especially when I look back at when I had my union in my star sign and ascension, and I look at where the masculines are now, I'm like, wow, this is going to be super exciting. You're a jag. Answers to what? What is the karmic coming through as? We're not doing the karmic yet. We'll do it soon. We're looking at the masculine. 6 months, try 21 years. And it hasn't been 6 months. You've been in communication. There has been, you know, a lot of twins don't get communication for a year. Nothing, zero, zilch. And you're like, oh, it's over then. I guess I've got to move on. And then you hear from them and you're like, shit. This is the portal where there's going to be movement, and it'll be us going, Are we ready? Do I trust you? Do I trust? It's not really do you trust them, it's do you trust me? Do I trust me? Am I good? Okay, let's see what's coming through. Now, okay, they're leaving someone behind that they're not in love with. Have they had a great, did they get it? No, they didn't get it. They didn't get that this was a spiritual connection. It was a spiritually very confusing time. Now, the spiritually confusing time was, why do I feel these feelings I feel for my person? Like, it's not, when we look in layman's terms of the twin flame path, we may know due to the fact that we're empaths and we get a lot of these psychic downloads. Generally, if you meet a divine masculine that is very similar to divine feminine, they're not a masculine, they're a feminine. So it's the feminine that sees the signs and synchronicities. And I know this from all my years of coaching. Okay, so if you do, can you attract another twin? Yes, you can, but they usually will be because you have embodied masculine, right? And they're the empath. So you're seeing an equal to you of where you used to be. And then you hear from your twin. It's like, shit. Okay, so yes, you can meet spiritual people. Do they have to be exactly the same as you? Oh, God, don't do that to yourself. It's boring. No, but we do attract that into our life at times. This person's energy is looking at, they've been in their crown chakra. The crown chakra in the 12th house, a lot of people talk about it in layman's terms of being a beautiful place, but it's an ending, you know? It's an ending. And it's a place where, from the crown chakra point of view, you have an awakening to the revelations of your demeanor. Now, eternal love, in the past, they didn't get what this was. They did feel they had a lot of conditioning, but they also felt that they didn't quite understand it. Let's just leave it at that. Now, in the midst of it, where they're standing, I feel they're moving into magician energy as we move into this full moon in Sagittarius. And I don't feel it's almost like they have this urgency this month to move forward regardless of emotions. I feel they could start becoming quite psychic, 100, and I do feel they're very intuitive. And they also feel that something's got to change within this connection. Because they know that the divine feminine won't interact. They know, okay? So this is a revelation. It's like, heck, I know where the problems are. I've been able to review my past. I know that's not going to work. With their frequency, a pattern is being broken, right, in this connection. There's a pattern. And it depends on where you are in your journey. But there's something that's been going on for a while that needs to come to an end. This is where they feel the faith in the connection will come back. There is a person there leaving. If spiritually they were in a belief, it's till death do you part, they're actually moving beyond that. And if they are losing a loved one and a relative, I feel it's after that. Next week. And I say next week because we're recording it prior to that, right? You know, transcending loved ones. You know, being in alignment, actually, you know, protecting, but choosing a path. It feels like they're picking a side. They're picking a side. One last card, please, for the divine masculine for week 2. And I'll clean up and I'll look at a couple of your statements in the house. Thanks for joining me tonight. Rising above a situation, freeing themselves inner peace. Inner peace, I'm down for that. This looks great. I'm down for this. I feel there's a lot of closure here. I do feel there could be a 3D circumstance relating to a family or children that they're currently dealing with. They could be having and I do feel they're having communication. This can either be communication with family. It can be maybe a family member is calling them out on a circumstance and saying, hey, you know, what are you doing? Are you okay? Do you think you're on the right path? But I feel most of them are actually having their own personal revelations. For some, karmics can be family. You know what I mean? Not all karmics are romantic partners. We tend to, the closer into our ascension we get, we have karmics everywhere. bloody scary. We almost get to a point, you go into hermit mode and you think the whole bloody world's against you. But it's not. It's your inner child. I already have lost faith in him coming back. 6 months, very little talk. And not. Oh. We all got our path, and there's all, you can't lose your twin. That's part of the problem. It's almost like, that's not really a problem. It's part of an awakening. So there comes a point when you've ascended to a certain point that a lot of it ends up being to do with purging. Once we can purge and we can lower our guard, then we go to that next chapter in it, and it moves. And this year, regardless of what wave we are being moved. We are being moved. We will have to heal. If we are stuck in a loop on our side or their side, as we ascend, they get pulled up, and then we get pulled back a little bit. But it is moving, and once we have that movement with Juno in Pisces is going to test both parties. Yeah, but then they're not the karmic, really, because in a twin flame connection, we attract karmics because we give it permission. Because the karmic energy inside a twin flame is the beliefs to do with conditioning, with family and lineage, but it's in each chakra. So when you have the blockages come up, it can come through in a perspective, third eye. It can come through in a communication style, and you'll find suddenly nobody will understand you, or you can't speak your truth. And we can have really a lot of issues with our throat chakra. Then it's heart chakra, but it can be abandonment wounds in a child. Then it can be Venus wounds, intimate wounds, which are coming up this month. So each one of us through each transit will have a style of ascension, and you can also look at your north node and your south node, and that'll be your past life karma. That'll be coming into play out, and the astrology will show when that's landing. So this year, because masculines are moving away from the 12th house into the first, it's where you're going to see them actually moving. Things don't happen on our clock. Things happen for us. So being that, yes, I will say, if we had looked at their astrology, and it does depend on the star sign, they were in the south node for 2 years. When you're in the south node, it's literally like all of your life is changing. And so trying to run to the mountain and get up it is almost impossible, because it's almost like your life becomes the tower and everything about you is falling down, and you're having to evolve and change. And while you're going through that, that's tough. Then we moved into January 2022, and they were in the 12th house, which is births, deaths, endings. It's the house of hidden enemies. It's habits. It's purgatory. It's psyche. It's stuck. Okay. That was for 5 months. Only in April did we have it move into the first house, which is them. So they're back in their first house position, in a very good position of both Mars and Jupiter, which does mean that there's going to be movement. So yeah, particularly if over the last 2.5 years you've had no movement and you're frustrated, you're going to feel angry. But it always is there to show you where you have power, but where you choose not to. And then universe pulls the carpet out from under you. But it's to help you move forward. It's to help you evolve and change. And as you are, they are too, because you're linked. So when we say we're purging and they're not, it's like, no, believe me, they purge. They do purge. And I would rather be a feminine 100% over than a masculine. Oh, I wouldn't want to be my masculine. I might have been him in a past life, but I wouldn't want to be in this life. It was gross. The separation is there to show us that we're abandoning ourselves. So it's where we have to look at what we can do within our power to make choices with our money, with our careers, with our home, and where we can actually do those things within our power. Because the funny thing was, when I looked at abandonment, I was like, oh my God, I ditched myself. I put everyone else above me, and on help. And then I was like, but you've abandoned me. And I was like, no, YILDIZ, you left and considered myself. And that's what the divine masculines are currently looking at right now. I left myself out in the cold. I put myself second. I tried to protect my divine feminine. My divine feminine, through her trauma of me pushing her away, is affected. We can't turn time back. That's the problem. But we can move forward. But we can't go forward if we can't let the past go. Okay, I'll be back and we'll do the karmics. We'll have a look, and we've got the twin flame update for the following week during the week, but I'll put that in the community tab. See you soon.